My first memory of ever hearing that this Super Mario Bros. Movie was being made was when a first trailer or teaser or something came out and people were pissed off about Chris Pratt being Mario, and they were certain that he was going to be terrible and ruin everything. Then the movie finally comes out, and the professional critics are tripping over themselves, yelling about how the movie's story sucks and the characters need to be developed more, like they expected this to be anything more than a video game movie for kids. But those points of view lead me to my point, which is that I never understood the negative attention that this movie was getting. I never considered the world of Super Mario as being one that wanted people to take it seriously enough to argue over minor differences in Mario's voice, or the fact that the story isn't gripping to a 65-year-old newspaper film critic. I think both of these approaches fly in the face of the lighthearted fun that Mario actually wants people to have. Sure, the Mario Bros don't have a good track record when it comes to movies, that's for certain. But the thoughts that the Super Mario Bros. Was ever going to be anything more than an easy, safe cash grab of a movie undergirded by thousands of video game references were absurd. The Super Mario Bros. Is exactly what you think it is. It's a bright, colorful, cheesy, fun, nostalgic hero's adventure, chock full of Mario and Nintendo references, familiar faces, and familiar places. Its goal is to entertain kids and engross them in the world of Nintendo so they'll beg for more Nintendo products. And the movie is successful in those endeavors. So I really didn't get why a lot of people were trying to make this movie more than it was, but that's just the nature of things these days. Before we get into specifics, let's run down a recap of the storyline, so here's your warning that we're jumping down the pipe into spoiler territory. And just before we do that, we'd ask that you click the thumbs up below, as it helps our videos reach more viewers out there. Okay, let's recap the story. Here we go! Yahoo! Bowser and his Koopa Troopas attack the Penguin people, and Bowser melts their kingdom to recover the superstar that can make Bowser invincible. We meet Mario and Luigi, who have just opened a new plumbing business, and they jump into action to help when there's a flood in Brooklyn. While trying to help, they find a secret underground pipe system that sucks Mario and Luigi into an oh-so-familiar realm, the Mushroom Kingdom, but they get immediately separated. Mario meets Toad, who tells him Luigi is likely in the Darklands under the control of Bowser, and then we return to Luigi, who's being chased into a spooky castle before being captured by a bunch of Shy Guys. Toad takes Mario to see the princess, who's on her way to entreat the Kongs for help against Bowser, and she brings Mario along as he looks to help Luigi. But first, Mario has to complete a training course montage, and in the Darklands, we discover that Bowser's plan is actually to marry Princess Peach. Mario and Peach set out with Toad in tow, and Mario learns more about the princess, namely that she's not originally from the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser learns of Mario's arrival in the Mushroom Kingdom and tortures Luigi for information on his brother before imprisoning Luigi. Mario, Peach, and Toad arrive at the Jungle Kingdom, pleading for the aid of their army, but Mario must defeat Donkey Kong in the Super Smash Bros. Arena to get their help. After Mario finds a way to beat DK, they all hop into carts and head out to ambush Bowser, but they get ambushed themselves, Mad Max style. Mario and DK get blue-shelled into oblivion, and many of the Kongs get captured by Bowser. Mario is able to save DK, but they get swallowed by a sea monster. Peach returns home to tell everyone to evacuate, but then Bowser arrives, and Peach initially rejects his marriage proposal, but some well-timed torture of Toad changes her mind. As Peach walks down the aisle, Bowser prepares to sacrifice all of his prisoners into the lava below as part of the ceremony, Luigi included. Peach gets cold feet and cold hands and fights Bowser instead, freezing him and halting the sacrifice. After escaping their fishy doom, Mario and DK arrive and fight their way to the wedding in a pretty damn fun video gamey type of scene. Despite Peach's best efforts, the sacrifice gets underway again and Luigi and the prisoners are about to be plunged into the lava when Donkey Kong and Mario save them. Bowser breaks free and launches a nuke at the Mushroom Kingdom, but Mario pulls it off course. However, the resulting explosion sends Mario and Luigi back home, but Bowser came with them. Mario and Bowser fight, and after Luigi finally nuts up and saves Mario, the brothers use the Superstar and become invincible, taking down all of Bowser's minions before taking out the Koopa King himself, saving Brooklyn and earning the admiration of everyone. Then, after seeing that the brothers have moved into the Mushroom Kingdom and the credits start rolling, we get a post-credit scene showing a Yoshi egg hatching in Brooklyn. The first thing that sticks out is that this is a fast movie. Once Mario gets to the Mushroom Kingdom, the character starts running everywhere instead of walking, like he does in the games, we should point out. But there's no better metaphor for the pacing of this movie. Once Mario gets sucked into the game world of Mushroom Kingdom, it's just go, go, go from there. There's no stopping to think or question or understand. You're just whisked from one video game reference to another, and before you know it, the movie's over. And for this movie's intended audience, there's nothing wrong with this. So while this may be jarring to adult viewers, kids are going to enjoy it and they're going to want more Nintendo stuff. Simple as that. They really seem to hit on every single piece of marketable material they had to work with, and there are a ton of references. This movie is really just 90 minutes of video game references loosely strung together by a paper-thin story. Most every big-name Mario game had its own little segment of the movie. Every single Mario power-up was used, there were tube puzzles, they dropped the princesses in another castle line, every character you can think of made an appearance, and Mario is constantly running like we mentioned before. They even threw in the infamous Rainbow Road shortcut from Mario Kart. All this fan service is going to be taken in different ways by different viewers. Some people will love it, and others will think it's shameless and hollow. But a significant majority won't have a problem with it, and it'll put a smile on their face. As for the voice acting, everyone did a great job. Pratt, as Mario, did fine. The voice didn't bother us at all. Now, he doesn't do the typical Mario voice that maybe a lot of people were expecting, and the beginning of the movie explains that that voice is just a false accent, so Pratt was able to do a more realistic voice. And when you think about it, 90 minutes of someone doing a Mario voice with this much more dialogue than you get in the game probably would have been annoying as hell. But Jack Black definitely knocked it out of the park as Bowser. In terms of visuals, we thought it looked great. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but we thought it fit the world of Mario perfectly. Now, this is by no means an amazing or even a great movie. The story is paper thin, a grand total of 3 characters have any kind of growth and development, much less any development of significance, and the one character who they tried to give something of an arc to, Luigi, was sidelined for 80% of the movie. We mentioned it before, but the pacing has its issues, and there were clearly some serious cuts made to the film before this reached theaters. And while they made pretty good use of original Mario music here and there, they included a lot of commercialized music, which can be a bit jarring. The only things great about this movie were Jack Black's performance and maybe the visuals, but most importantly, the effect it had on its intended audience. This movie doesn't try to be anything it shouldn't be. It's fun, it accomplishes what it set out to do, and there's no negative messaging hidden inside this children's product. So all told, the Super Mario Bros. Movie is exactly what you think it is. Go into it looking to pick up a bunch of Mario references from your childhood, but don't expect much more than that. You're essentially just going to get a fun, visually pleasing 90-minute Nintendo commercial that kids are mostly going to love, while the adults get a few smiles and laughs out of it. And based on the post-credit scene, they're probably far from done, and we can easily see this as a film to build a franchise off of. Did you see the Mario movie? If so, what were your thoughts? Did you also hear all of the negative coverage leading up to its release? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already, please remember to leave a like on the video if you liked it, and consider subscribing to the channel for reviews of other current shows and movies. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.